and welcome to Not One Right Way, the podcast. It's me, your co-host, Melissa Manuel, she, her, and
It's me, Marta Marawakinyaga, they, them, theirs.
how you doing, Marv?
Doing swell. I'm doing real swell. Can I tell you a quick story about what just happened in my life?
Always.
Lovely. Yesterday, during dinner, my dad turns to my mom and is like, "How do you feel about these people coming over for dinner tomorrow?" Which wasn't a question. He already invited them. So that was...
I can't even picture Lupe inviting people over for dinner, so this is already so interesting.
Right? Like, it was just like, I don't know how it happened, but he's like, "Hey, are you, like, should they come?" And it's like, you already invited them. Like, sure, I guess we'll just change all of our plans to accommodate this, like, sudden social visit. It was pretty good. It was
Nice.
interesting because it was people from my parents' church, right? 3 college students, all of whom were born after 2005. Um,
Okay.
which is one of those things where they're just like, "Yeah, I wasn't even alive during 9/11," or like things
Set the
like
stage
that.
stone.
It's just like one of
You
those
know
things.
me, when 9/11 happened in 2001, all I could talk about was 9/11.
If you haven't seen the Defunct Land production about who did the Disney Channel theme song, then you might recognize this as an interstitial from the post 9/11 Disney Channel. After
It's just
9/11,
one of
all
the
I can think
actors.
about is 9/11.
Yeah, I think about that all the time.
Yeah. Um,
Anyway, keep going.
Anyways, so they were interesting. There was actually another person in the room who is currently studying philosophy, and it was one of those things where it's just like, "Oh,
Other people like you? Other
like
philosophy
me?"
majors?
Yeah. It was strange. It's like, I don't wanna talk about it, right? Like, what if they know, what if they think, what if,
What What do you mean?
what if their opinions are bad?
Oh.
What if their
Like
philosophy is wrong and I have to
what if
just,
they
like,
got
be
cringe
normal?
takes?
Yeah. He actually said, "Shout out to my homie Rene Descartes," and I was immediately like, "Oh, we're not going there." Mind-body dualism? Come on. First, like, elementary shit. We should be talking about things beyond that. But also, my parents are here, and 2 other
Yeah.
college students who are already looking at us like we're fucking insane for wanting to study philosophy.
Yeah. So you just didn't wanna, like, ruin the dinner party vibes with your philosophy takes.
Yeah.
I get that. You were being very polite. You were showing a lot of self-restraint.
A lot of restraint. So, I come back from this, I start watching a documentary with my dad about the Vietnam War, and now I'm here.
So you had a super fun, chill evening.
Super fun, chill evening. So that's where I'm all over the place right now. There's so many things in my brain, and none of them are gonna go anywhere because it's philosophy in the Vietnam War, like,
Wow. I like the energy you're bringing into the space. Thank you. Thank
you're
you for
welcome.
sharing.
Yeah, how are you?
Not that, that's for sure, like
Yeah, yeah.
I had a relatively pleasant day, not spent with my father. Like, I got to work from home today, I went on a walk, I went to the tailor, got a dress hemmed, and the tailor recognized me. You know when you're, like, feeling, like, a sense of community, and the tailor sees you, and she goes, "How are you? How have you been?" And it's like, "Wow, I have a regular tailor. Who am I?" That's how I felt.
Yeah.
There's, like, a pleasant breeze. I got a little
Mm,
sandwich in my favorite sandwich shop. It felt great. Like,
that's
a sense of belonging.
yeah.
Very pleasant. So, that was my day. And I made beans. Like, I made some black beans.
Mm,
Soup. Delicious. I got a lot done, did my job. Um,
mhm.
so I had a very, like, self-fulfilling day. Less chaotic for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you for sharing that story.
You're welcome. I'm so glad that you're coming from, like, this wonderful, productive adult day that is not at all chaotic in the way that I just experienced the last, like, 5 hours.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did wanna update the listeners. I did finish watching Once Upon a Time, and I wanna say I'm healthy. I feel like I didn't wanna say this in front of Patrick Lynn that it's my depression show, but it is my depression show, and I
It
think
is.
after this watch, I'm better. Like, I don't it doesn't have to hold me back anymore.
Yeah.
Okay now.
Would you say
Um,
you've recovered?
I would say I'm recovered.
Okay. I
I
love
can
watching
watch Once Upon a
your
Time normally.
yeah. I love watching your recovery journey. I'm so proud of you. This is a huge step for you, for your family.
Thank
I love
you.
that.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I would love to introduce our guest. I don't have a good segue because this intro went all over the place.
I don't know
But
I don't know how to follow this. Like, I don't know, like, I'm like and Marv's like, "Yeah, I had to, like, socially repress myself from, like, just, like, laying into this man," and Melissa's like, "Oh, yeah, no, I just, like, hung out today," and I'm like, "I don't know what to come at this with. Like, do I just, like do we talk about the nature of, like, human existence and truth, or do I talk about
Yeah.
how I, like, bought toothpaste at the store?" Like, I don't, like,
Yeah.
I don't know where to go. I'm confused.
Yeah.
all of the above. Well, that was Claire Rosenthal, our special guest for today. Hello, Claire. You
Hi.
call yourself the animation industry cryptid?
I have to say N animation. There's definitely multiple. I think that like there I wouldn't I think it would be extremely presumptuous to say I am the animation industry cryptid. Like to be like, oh yeah, no other animation industry cryptids you heard about, they're all fakes. Like it's just me.
You're the
Um
you're the only one I know, so as far as I know,
Oh.
you're the
Oh my
one, the
god.
only.
Yeah.
Oh. This is an honor. Jesus.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, I guess to like fully introduce myself, like, hi everyone, my name's Claire Rosenthal. You she her pronouns. Yeah, I've done some like volunteer work for the QT animation like Discord server. They do like a yearly zine every year. I've been on the production committee. It's been pretty good. Recently moved out to LA and have just been sort of like invading all the spaces, just like yapping to people, saying hi. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I also write occasionally about like animation industry stuff, just like theories and like projections and ideas about like business and like entertainment structure, that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I could talk about that later, but I hang around and I think about things. So
Nice.
that's me.
Nice. Cool.
Well, welcome and apologies for our chaotic intro,
Oh
but
no, it was.
how was your day?
Oh yeah, no, it was incredible. No, I feel like I said that. I said I was like I don't know where to come in from this, but also like I do very much feel that because I was like on the one hand, yes, I did buy toothpaste from the store. Like I went into Costco and I just bought toothpaste. Then I brought it into my car. Then on the second hand, I was like going to dinner with my girlfriend, and I was like, oh wait, like I think I like living today. Like it's like
Mhm.
I was I was like, oh, I like life. Oh, huh? And she was very she had an ice cream in her hand, and she was very like taken aback. She's also here, by the way. She's like sitting on the bed next. She's being very quiet and very wonderful. But yeah, I don't know. So I feel like also similar. I mean, I'm a very introspective person. Like I'm a very like, oh, like a thing happens, and I'm like, let's think about that. Like let's think about like what that means and how that like the implications of that and sort of stuff. And I was like, oh, so I don't know. Today's been very like I have this tendency where when I get really tired, I tend to like push myself. So sort of like
Mhm.
physically and emotionally. And I feel like it sort of results in me sort of having not the healthiest habits of like, continuing on past when I'm really tired. So a lot of like personal work currently has been like trying to relax and trying to be like, it's
Mm.
okay to, take a good pace. And I can confidently say that like I felt like I did more of that today and it felt good. So I don't know, just a little victory about like, not like constantly feeling like I have to do everything all the time. I can just like I can exist for a bit. That's okay.
Yeah. I love to hear that you are enjoying your life right now. And, that often involves buying toothpaste. Um, to segue into my question. So,
Mm,
as you know, Claire, I'm a social worker.
Mm.
Usually I start off day 1, minute 1, right off the bat. Tell me your deepest traumas. What has impacted you most as a human to get you to this place that you are right now? So my question for you, to sort of start off, what kind of toothpaste did you buy? Do you have a specific, like, brand, flavor, consistency?
That's a pretty similar question, I'd say, like what's a core fundamental truth that motivates my, human existence, and also like what little silly goop do I put on my bones? Like what
Yep.
I feel like I'm a Sensodyne girly, I'll say it. Like I have
Okay.
like
Oh.
Yeah.
I am very like I like to joke because I'm like also like neurodivergent, and part of that for me is like all my like dials are cranked up in terms of sensitivity. Like I'm like when I was younger, like people would like touch me on the back or like pat me on the back, and I'd be like, "Don't do that." I'd be like, "Ugh." Because I was like, it wasn't like a safety thing. It was just like a feeling thing of like, oh, it's like a train light is in front of me. And so I was like, ah, so that was happening. So yeah, so that also applies to teeth. So yeah, just like teeth are very. I've been very fortunate to not have any like major dental issues in my life. Consistently going to the dentist and stuff. But yeah, I do the Sensodyne, and I specifically do the Sensodyne like whitening because like I don't know, I'm a fan of whitening stuff in toothpaste. Like it might be worse for my teeth to be honest, but like I'll say it, I'm a sucker for having my teeth white. Like I think it's very nice to just like open my mouth and just have this like big beaming smile, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "It's my mouth," and I'm like, ah. So I mean, not
And
that.
I'll say it, Claire has a beautiful smile, so it's working.
Aw, aw, thank you, Melissa. It's very
The
nice of you.
luxury bones that you have on display, very pearlescent.
That is luxury. We should know our dentistry, just luxury bone repair. Like hello, welcome, have a seat. That's amazing. What kind of toothpaste do you use, Marv?
I usually use the Arm& and Hammer, like, complete care, extra whatever whitening stuff, like, it's boring
Oh,
shit. I
wow. That's
it's
like
it's
I trust Arm& and Hammer from everything. Something about them being like, "We have baking soda in it." I'm like, "Yeah, that's gotta
yeah,
be good
it's
for
gotta be
sure."
good.
so that's fascinating because for me that would turn me off. Like that's like don't put that shit in my mouth. Like what do you mean? I'm gonna use that to clean my stovetop, not my teethies. No,
I put baking
um,
soda
Opposite
in
for me.
everything.
wow.
Yeah.
Every
I'm
just
just
like
like, "It'll clean my stove, it'll clean my bathtub, it'll clean
Put it in
the
my
floor."
laundry. I put it in my
Yeah,
beans. I put baking
yeah,
soda everything.
you put baking
yeah.
soda in your beans?
It is. It's like the secret. It's my grandma's secret. Sorry, abuela. It's the secret to like cooking your beans faster. It breaks down the skin. If you're doing
Oh,
dried beans, not like canned beans,
yeah, yeah.
it actually like cooks them faster instead of
Oh,
like
shit.
leaving them on the stove for hours. Don't put a lot, but like a little sprinkle cooks your beans really fast.
Oh my god.
Baking soda.
That's
Baking
incredible.
soda.
This is amazing. Oh my god. You changed my world. Like I'm also a bean fan. Like I love a good pinto. Like it is very nice. But and like I do love when I can like get that crock pot set up and I can like I can like season the water and then you can like put it in. I'm like it's been like yeah, it's been a little journey trying to like actually figure out how food is cooked and like how to make it good. And I'm like, huh. So it's been a couple years, but
Mhm.
it's been nice so far. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I have a follow-up question.
Yes.
Do you happen to have a whole carton of skim milk next to you right now?
Okay, yeah, so this is why I say I'm a cryptid is because I'm like I wear a green salamander jacket and I have like a half gallon of like milk. Like that's like my character design. Like people like to joke that I'm like if you see me around like that's probably it's either in my hand or it's in my bag. Like that's a pretty good bet. So I will say personally right now no. But I also don't have my water with me. So I'm like I am in a desert.
Well,
Like I'm in a milk desert. I'm in a soy desert. I'm in a water desert right now. But I did have some earlier today. Like that is like especially when if I can say especially when my girlfriend's not around and she makes me eat real food. I'm like I'm like but what if I just had a handful of nuts and some soy milk and that's my dinner. Yum yum. So like it's oh yeah, and also relating to that. So yeah, like the soy milk. I like the milk to have it. I think when we were talking, so okay, for a really long time I've been like a soy milk girly. I love it. It's great. It's awesome. It's like I love like the it's like light, but it's also got protein in it. It's nice. It's very good. When I was meeting you, or when we were hanging out, that was a period when I was trying lactose-free milk because it was like for the past couple of years I've been trying like avoiding lactose, and it's been pretty good. I've kind of struggled with like digestive issues my whole life, so like it helps a lot. But then when I was like hanging out with you, when I started like going to kickball and just like hanging around and yapping, that was when I was like a little period when I was like, I'm gonna try regular milk. And funny enough, it was really good from a like sustenance standpoint. It was really nice of like, oh, there's a lot of nutrients, there's a lot of fat, it's really, really good. But the flip side, it made my throat like so goddamn phlegmy that like every 30 minutes I'd be like, oh my God, this is a really good conversation. So everyone and I'd like hawk up a lung and just have to like just like take my entire esophagus and like turn it inside out just because of all the phlegm inside of it. It was just
Very cute.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, excuse me, gotta go dive and then
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah, just has to girly things,
Just
So
Girly things.
so now that I've gone back to soy milk, it's happened less. So that's been very nice.
Nice.
So yeah, but yeah, no, to answer your question, no, unfortunately. I mean, we did get sushi for dinner, and I did like have kind of a late lunch as well. So like I did have a lot of food. So like it's that I try not to overeat. Like I try to be like, okay, I've had the food, give myself a break, just kind of hang out. But I bet your ass in like an hour I'll be sipping on that good bean milk, like 100%.
Love that for you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Well, to dig into it,
Yeah.
why don't you share with listeners and with us a little bit about yourself and your journey into moving into LA and how you wanted to become a part of the industry or are trying to be? Did you know animation is what you wanted to work in forever, or how did this begin for you?
Yeah, so I feel like for a lot of people, I know for a lot of people that it's very like rooted in when they were really young and like always since they can remember. They're like, "Oh my God, I always knew I wanted to draw. I always knew I wanted to do animation." That was not me. Like 100%. Like maybe it was cuz like I'm trans and like growing up is kind of weird when you're trans cuz like for me I process it as like disassociation. So I'm like, "Oh, I don't exist. I'm not a person." So like the idea of like what I want is like really difficult, but also will say I'm also in a very interesting place because I love animation. I really love it, but I don't think I sort of had the traditional path of like, oh, I like to draw, oh, I like cartoons, bam, like put that together. For me, I did always know that I liked art and I liked computers. Like that was like the two things for me because my dad was a like mechanical engineer for P&G and he likes programming, he likes technology. So he was like, "Here, Claire, like go just like play with Python or whatever." And just like when I was like 10, I was like, oh, "Okay, cool." And just like yapping around and playing around with shit. And so yeah, so I grew up sort of in that environment and I always liked it. I liked sort of what computers could do. I liked the sort of the tools they could provide for like both expression and also just like ability to do things. I'm like, oh, I can like create a bunch of these files or I can like automate this thing. Like that's really cool. Like that's really nice. But I also really liked art. Like I always knew that like when I was younger, I really loved, for me growing up, like Steven Universe was kind of the show. I was older. I was like 16, 17, but it was kind of like that was the show for me that I was like, oh, like this is beautiful. Like this is pretty. And I also have to give credit to my dad. I love Brad. He's amazing. I say that because he signs Brad on cards, even though he's like my biological father. He's not my stepdad. He's my dad, but he just signs it Brad. And once my mom got mad at him, it was like, "Why are you signing her card Brad?" And he's like, "Because my name's Brad." I'm like, I don't know. There's very
Shout out, Brad.
shout out Brad. Listen,
Shout out Brad.
he supported me during bottom surgery. Like that man will always have a special place in my heart. Like literally, he's incredible.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brad. I mean, and
Going out
also
for Brad.
yeah. Also shout out to Sherry if you're listening. You're a wonderful
Shout out
mom
to
as well.
Sherry.
Sherry
Shout
as
out,
well.
Brad.
Shout out to
Shout out Brad.
Sherry.
Shout out to Sherry. Shout out to Brad. Oh my God. Anyway, but yeah, so and then he also was a fan of anime. Like he saw Akira in theaters like in the 80s. Like that was like his but for me that will always also be like a really cool thing. I'm like, "Dad, that's so fucking
What
cool."
an honor.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like in the 80s,
Yeah.
he's like, "You guys got to see this film." And all his friends were like, "What the fuck is this?" He's like, "Ah." So, yeah, so he's always been a fan of that shit and he introduced me to Studio Ghibli. That was kind of the big moment. I feel like that's similar for a lot of people of like Studio Ghibli is kind of a good entry point into like getting deeper in the animation space. I watched Spirited Away when I was like 13 and got really scared. So I was like, oh. And then I went back and watched it when I was 16. I was like, oh, this is incredible. This is amazing. Like this is a like astounding movie. And so yeah, I feel like animation was always a part of my life. Like Steven Universe, Studio Ghibli, that kind of stuff. And then computers were always a part of my life. but I didn't really know how to reconcile it. Like I also liked video games. I don't know. I used to be into first person shooters for a bit. I was really into this game called Enter the Gungeon. It's like a top down like pixel art like shooter as well. Oh yeah, I was also really into Dark Souls as well. So like there was a lot of other interests. There was like, I liked animation, I liked computers, but I also liked other stuff. I liked video games. And so I don't think there was like a clear answer in my brain of like, oh, this is exactly what I want to do. I mean, maybe if I had more time to like think, if I had more time to like sort of introspect and like think about my feelings, I probably could have come to that terminology. But then I might have like, I don't know, I might have gone on a different path or might have done other things. So I don't know. It's my life is as it was, but it was like it took a bit of time. I'd say I was 20, 21 specifically when I realized that like, oh, like this is it. And it's a very specific moment in a very specific show. So Owl House is a show that's really important to me. It like yeah, it came out when I realized like around the time when I realized I was queer and I was like I was trans and I was like, ah fuck. So like it was a very like it's a very kindred spirit to my sort of like soul as a young little egg, a young little queer. So and there's a specific moment in episode 2 or like 102 if you want to go like production
Wow,
codes
like
like the
really early in the show.
yeah, no, really early. And it's specific because early in the show you had a lot of like Spencer Wan, who's like soon as y'all know, like Studio Grackhole, really cool animator, lives in Rhode Island, I think. Anyway, friend of Dana, like he did some animation for the show because he was like, oh, like I can help out with this stuff. And there's a lot in the first episode, but there's some in the second episode. And there's a specific moment when Lou's like, it's like angled, sort of a top down shot, like a little bit to the side, and she's like spinning with her staff, and she's like I think I came here for a reason. Like if you've seen the show, it'll probably come to mind. But like that specific shot, like Spencer Wan animated, it's really beautiful. He has a really good understanding
Yes.
of perspective. But like that specific like shot, I remember seeing like, and I remember something tickling my brain. Like I remember something like wormed its way inside my cerebrum and like grabbed a hold of it. And I was like, oh, like animation is like art but move. I was like, I was like, I was like, and it like,
Whoa.
oh yeah, it's
To
like
start
that
the line.
exactly. And like that specific thing, I was like, oh shit, this is me. Like this is my thing. This is my shit. And that just, I mean, has continued for the past 4 years and shows no sign of stopping. Because I feel like learning about animation and then also like learning about animation and learning about animation production specifically, because one of the PAs on the Owl House, Rebecca Rose, did some like post interviews like for each of the episodes. She would like do interviews with the cast. Like her, Sarah Nicole Robles, and Cissy Jones would sort of like interview production members of the show and like talk about their experience. And I remember like learning about production as like a path. Because I'd always had this computer side of things. I'd always liked computers. I always liked technology. I wasn't really much of an illustrator, but I still liked art. Like another weird thing is that I did a couple figure drawing classes when I was younger, even though I didn't like draw. I didn't like doodle. Like I wasn't like a doodler. I wasn't a visually artistic person. But I felt that I had to draw. I was like, oh well, I have to learn how to draw because like if I'm gonna be an art student, like because I didn't know where I was gonna go. I didn't know if I was doing computers or art or whatever. I was like, I have to learn how to draw. Like one of the first schools I looked at was like Cal Arts and SVA, and like I later ended up going to University of Utah for computer science. Like it was a whole like path. But regardless, anyway, like coming back around, like it was specifically that scene in the Owl House in general, and then also like specifically the sort of post crew interviews that sort of led me onto this idea of like, oh, not only is this a medium that I really care about, and not only are these people that I really care about, but I can sort of have a place in this. Like I can, with the way that my brain works and the way that like I like to technically understand things, like I can sort of fit myself into this system in a way that like I can benefit the people that I care about, but also like sustains me as a person. And it's been pretty good so far, honestly. Like learning about production, the more I learn about it, I'm like, this is really cool. Just connecting with the people. Like animation people are my favorite people. Like honestly, like I love hanging out with them. I love talking with them. I love just like gapping with them. So and it's been a good journey so far. I feel like it's been really nice. That might have been way too much for the question. Let me know. But
No worries.
okay, this is a
Never too
podcast.
much.
Okay,
Nope.
appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
I think that's really beautiful because I mean I'm biased. I love the Owl House so much.
Yeah.
But I think it's true that how one show can kind of like ignite something in you and push you to I don't know, kind of pursue it. And for some people, we've had a lot of people in the past few weeks be like, I always knew this is what I want to do. And they've chased it and went to like, did the traditional animation school route. But we also had at the beginning, when we started the podcast, people who were less traditional, like did other things and then pivoted careers. So I don't think that there's not one right way to
There's not one
join the
right
industry.
way.
Oh my god.
So I think it's fun. And production, I'm also, again, biased because I'm in production, but not a producer. So I think production's really fun, especially because if you're not someone who can draw, you don't need to know how to draw. It's really that love of the medium, I think, that drives a lot of producers. It's like you love the medium, and if you love the people, more importantly, that makes you a really strong producer. And something I wanted to ask you about, because we did go to Cartoon Kickball.
Yeah.
You know so many people. And I was like shocked that you weren't working in the industry. I was like, how do you know all these people? And you're not even working. So I was curious, like, how have you gotten around and like how are you making all these genuine connections? Like, I know you've already got this amazing personality. You're an amazing person. But,
Aw.
like, how are you working, like just getting to know so many people in the industry without working?
Yeah, that's actually a very interesting question because that literally comes up. Like, I have a friend who works on Rick and Morty, and he has like a group of friends, and they were talking about like this one lady named they were talking about this one lady named Alisoon, and
I want to meet Allison so bad.
oh my god, she's in I don't
She's like
she
in Europe now.
well
I've
no
been
no
following her career and like it's crazy.
no, but she's in LA like right now, but like
I think so.
she's leaving tomorrow because I saw her last night in person for the first time. Like anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to like anyway.
Small world. That's what I'm
I'm
saying. How did you meet Allison?
no, but like
Crazy.
anyway. But what happened was they were talking about this person with like tattoos on their knuckles, and they were like putting out the letters, and I was like, oh, Alisoon, and they were like, how the fuck do you know Alisoon? Like they were like not like upset, but they were like because earlier we were talking about other people, and I'd also mentioned them, so like anyway, what I mean is like I think that's a very astute observation. I guess one to answer the first question, how am I not in industry yet? I mean, maybe it's because things are weird right now, or maybe because spaces are still kind of strange, or maybe because my skill set's kind of weird. I don't know. I will say I appreciate. This is a thing that happened very recently. My friend Nikki was like, "Oh, here's this like PA job at Disney," and I was like, "Oh, it looks really cool." And I was looking at it, and then just Disney was just like immediate no, and I was like, "Okay." Like they let me. I'm like they let me know. I'm like, "Hey, like I appreciate that. I appreciate that they're like they're communicative about that." But anyway, to answer the second question, how to get to know people. So my friends like to describe myself as a social wizard, like, and I think that's honestly very accurate because I describe myself as being very interested, like from a technical perspective in social interactions. Like I'm very like I love people. I love the way that they talk. Love the way that they interact. I love like the spaces that people exist in and sort of like the different like social context in which we operate in. And I think that makes it very easy for me to navigate those spaces and be like, okay, like these are the people that I would love to talk to. These are the people who I think are like cool and sort of like this is like not like how I get there, but like so like to come back to this, like I think if I had to sum it up, I'd say one of the things that I found really important, one of the things I found that's really nice is there's a saying that a lot of things in life that seem inexplicable are simply being at the right place at the right time. Like that's it. It's a saying, it's a factor. And people might have predictions, people might have ideas about what's going to happen, but to be honest, nobody knows the right time. Like there's, always things happening. There are always, new things changing, but usually you can kind of guess where the right place is, if that kind of makes sense. Like you can kind of be oh, like this kind of seems like a place where things are happening. Like this seems like a place. Like it's very like to be honest, it's like for example, like I'll say one of the friends that I hang out with is Sage Kuchino. They're really really cool. Like they were a director on Owl House. They're really really nice. They're like a really wonderful person. And like people would ask like, oh, how did you get to know them? And I'm like, well, the immediate answer, like this is where my technical brain's at. Like the immediate answer is that I went to someone's birthday party. I went to Kristen Gish's birthday party, and I saw Sage there, and we talked and we had a good time. But like the real answer goes way 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 further back. Like the real answer is that I was interested in the Owl House. Like, if we want to get technical about it, the real answer was that I was interested in the Owl House. And because I was interested in the Owl House, I listened to Rebecca Rose's Post Hoots. And because I was listening to Rebecca Rose's Post Hoots, they had an interview with Andy Garner Flexner, who is one of the art directors, really cool person, does a lot of cool stuff. And in that interview, they mentioned about a server that they ran for animation industry professionals and people interested in getting into animation called QT Animation. And like, this is how you join. And I was like, okay, cool. It's a little hard to find. It's not like you can search up QT Animation, also search queer tag 839. That's like the union. But anyway, regardless, you have to like send them an email and they're like, are you queer? And you're like, yes. And great. And then you get added to the server. But it was like I saw that as a space. I was like, oh, okay, this is a server that Andy runs, that Amy's involved in. This is probably where things are happening. Like things are sort of connecting. And so because of that, I got on that server and started getting involved. I was like super new, but they were like doing this zine for the first time, and they were like, does anyone want to help out with production? And I was like, fuck it, sure. Like I'll throw my hat in the ring. And I started getting involved in that. And that was really nice. And it was really good and getting involved in that. And then because I was in that server, one of the channels in that server is like a housing and rent section. And so because of, for the past year, I knew I was planning on moving to Los Angeles. I had like saved up money and I got the stuff getting ready to move. And then coincidentally, during that time when I was getting ready to move, one of my roommates, Kieran, was looking for people to move to a house in Sylmar, which is where I live currently. And so it and Chris, who's one of my other roommates, were looking to move to a house. And so me and my friend MJ from middle school were sort of collaborated together. We got on a Zoom call. We really liked each other. It was nice, a good vibe. We got all the lease stuff together. We got everything. I moved out here. That was really good. And then later, a couple months later, because we were roommates, we were hanging out. Chris mentioned, because Chris had worked on Jellystone, so Chris was friends with Kristen, who also worked on Jellystone. Chris was like, oh, Kristen's having a birthday party. Would you like to come along? Because Chris knew me because I was the roommate. So I was like, okay, cool. And so then I came along and then I talked to Sage. Like, that's like, if you really want to get into it, like if you really want to trace the
I
shit.
wish we had a little cartoon following
Yes.
this line of line.
Yes.
I wish there was just like a little cartoon
web
player
map.
going from person to person.
Yeah.
That would be beautiful.
But that's what I mean. And like, I feel like a lot of people, see the thing of like, oh, how did you get to know this person? I'm like, well, it's just a bunch of little steps. Like, it's a bunch of little, and it wasn't like
It wasn't like you were plotting it. You're just like genuinely curious.
Well, I think,
Yeah.
here's my perspective about it. Cause I think that there's definitely different ways to go about this. Cause I feel like a lot of people can take, to be honest, I can take the wrong message from this. They can take the idea of like, oh, like, the way you do this is by, becoming people friends and quote networking or whatever the fuck. I'll be completely honest. Like I despise the word networking. Like I think I understand why people use it. I think it makes sense in a particular context, but like I personally love bringing it back to the idea of like, what do you want as a person? Like what's fundamentally important to like you as a human being? And I feel like a lot of people think that they want like a job. I think they feel like they're like, oh, I want to work in animation. But to be completely honest, like if I had to guess, I feel like a lot of people really just want community. Like I feel a lot of people just want people to understand them and to connect with them. And a lot of people do get that from a job. Like a lot of people do get that from like, oh, if you're, working with people who've also sort of been through this process, you understand them and that's who they are. But it's definitely not necessary. Like there is like one of the people at Cartoon Kickball, Sophia, she does like, I think it's like she works for like a zero emissions company and does like a completely separate thing, but just her friends are in animation and she just like talks with them and she has the same vibe, but like she doesn't work in animation, but like she still has that same community of friends and things. And so I feel like for me, one of the things that's been really helpful is understanding this idea of like, I would like to work in animation. I think it'd be nice. I think it would be fun. It would be a good experience. I just like working. I like helping people out. I like the technical understanding. But to me, like if I never worked in animation, but I had a community of people that I can talk to about this, who can I can understand and who can understand me, like that's really what's important. Like I wouldn't want to work in animation and be isolated. Like to me, that would be like completely backwards. Like it'd be completely putting the cart before the horse, like what's really important. So I feel like for me, like I think to sort of like hone in sort of on that, I think it's like go for what you want, go for what's important to you, but really make sure that what you're saying, what's important to you is actually what's important to you. Because for me, it's like, I mean, yes, I want to, like, there are individuals who I like saw at a party. And then like there was my friend Georgia, who I'm getting coffee with tomorrow. Like I reached out to them because I was like, they're cool. And I saw them at this party that I went to at Halloween and it was like great. But it was like, I'm reaching out to them not because I was like, oh, like I think they can like get me a job at like Netflix or whatever. I'm like, I saw them and they seemed like a cool person and I like talking with them and I like chatting with them. And so I'm like, for me, I'm like, I want community. I want people to talk to and to connect with. And so that like aligns with that. And which is nice. And honestly, I feel like I just have a fundamental feeling that I feel like a lot of actions that on the surface can seem kind of shitty, in reality are sort of motivated by a lot of like base human urges, like, the feeling to be understood, the feeling to be wanted, the feeling to be respected. And honestly, I feel like a lot of life is understanding those desires and needs and finding ways of meeting them in a healthy capacity. And like for example, like if you reach out to someone about hanging out and they say no, like just like move on. Just like be a person. That's like the thing. Just like be nice, be courteous, be helpful. Be respectful of other people as human beings. Like if you see someone who's cool on the playground and you want to hang out with them, but like they're having a good time with their other friends and don't really want to hang out with you at the moment, like you just gotta suck it up. It's okay. Like it doesn't mean that they'll never hang out with you. It doesn't mean that they'll never talk to you. And to be honest, like this is typing to the hypothetical you, but like there's a lot of things about you hypothetical that are really cool. There's a lot of things about you that are really nice and really wonderful, like wherever you are in life. And so like if that person doesn't want to hang out with you, to be honest, that's their loss. And like that's hard to accept. That's hard to like understand. And it's hard to like sort of internalize that. But I don't know, it's all connected. Like it's all sort of interrelated, the idea of like being a person and like, like self-actualizing and getting to a point where you fully sort of understand who you are and what you want. And I feel like understanding what you want, understanding sort of where you want to go, and then finding a way of getting there is helpful, but with the big asterisks of like, is is this really what you want? Like really dig into that, really understand sort of what's important to you. And I feel like for a lot of people, that's not really like, something that's like, selfish or malicious. It's really just like we are people who need people. Like we want to connect with people. That's just like how we are as as mammals, as social creatures. Like so. Thanks for coming to my TED talk.
Snaps.
There's drinks in the lobby. Uh,
I would pay you to continue speaking more.
oh my
I
god!
really would.
I'm like
But
a
part of
stripper.
this
Sorry, but for philosophy. Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt. You continue.
It's one of those it's, like, reminding me of this moment when I was beginning my my degree in social work and just, like, they often would just put SWers, and I immediately thought sex workers, and I was, like, confused. Like, why are we talking about sex work and sex workers here? Like, honey, where's the connection? But it wasn't, it was social workers, social
Yeah,
work.
that
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just add
I
a
could
little
see
bit
the
of it.
confusion.
I'm gonna
yeah.
add a little bit of a bit. I was at like a university like touring, and there was this entire like wall poster. Honestly, whether something was an actual experience or a meme that I saw on the internet is kind of fuzzy now. But like, regardless, it was funny. It was a wall poster, and it was talking about a bachelor in science, but it was like my BS degree, and it's like how you can get your BS degree, and I'm like, yeah, you know what you're talking about. Anyway, but I get you. Continue. Yeah.
Yeah, completely unrelated, you just said the stripper thing and it reminded me of that, and also, like, the conversation of, like, social needs and, like, all of that. First off, speaks to me and how I think
Oh.
about the world and just, like I think the amazing sort of combination or sort of overlap that I've seen between, like, production work in entertainment and the work that I've been doing, which is really like, I just wanna help people. I think people are really cool, and I think when we give them the right tools and we give them support and we say, "Hey, what do you need?" Like, we can create such beautiful things straight up. So I'm really resonating with what you said there, and it also reminds me of a class I took on nonviolent communication, which I think would interest you.
Oh,
Yeah,
writing this down. Do you mind?
yeah. Nonviolent communication, NVC, is, like, such an interesting world that really starts with the worldview that, like, we're all people in conflict because our needs are not being met, And when we have unmet needs, yeah, we're often in conflict over the strategies we use to try and get them met. So, like, if your
Mm.
strategy for networking is to meet the need of getting a job, then you're not meeting the actual social needs, the need for security, the need for community. You're at a sort of basic level trying to meet a need that isn't gonna fulfill you.
Yeah, my partner oftentimes talks a lot about, like, secondary emotions, like, she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, yeah," like, oftentimes, like, anger is a secondary emotion, like, really, there's oftentimes something underneath, and it's been
Mhm.
very helpful for me to understand that, like, oh, like, oftentimes our actions and even sometimes our feelings aren't, like, the immediate result of, like, what they seem to be. Like, there's
Mhm.
something underneath that. There's something underneath of, like, what's important to you and sort of what is what you're striving for, which I honestly think really relates to like art specifically. Like I feel
Mm.
like there's a lot of jobs out there that are very, that are very technical or very sort of like that don't involve the self. Like, yeah, I don't know. If I'm an accountant, I'm just like doing accountant work and I'm doing this stuff. Or if I'm like, mechanical engineer, like my dad, like it's just, I'm doing the work that's assigned of me and I'm solving problems. But one of the things that I love about art, which honestly makes it a lot more complicated in my opinion, is that it like involves the self. It's like, if
Mhm.
I'm a programmer and I'm making a thing and somebody suggests a better suggestion, I mean, yeah, there's like the way I write code, but like if someone makes a better algorithm for something, like I'm gonna use that. Like I'm trying to solve the issue. I'm not like trying to like express myself. But like in art, you kind of are in a way. Like I mean, there's the job at hand, there's the task you're sort of involved in and like the style and the show and the place you're working in, but it's also you. Like it's what's important to you and how you want to convey perspective and people and how that's important to you. And like we're all these people with these different perspectives and these different ideas, and then we all put them together and we're like make one cohesive thing. And like that's crazy. Like that's crazy as a
Yeah.
concept, and the fact that that works, the fact that like that I remember there was a video that I saw that really like changed my perspective of this idea of like the fact that any animated thing, let alone gets made, but also is like coherent, is like incredible. Just from like an organization standpoint, like you get 70
Amen.
people together, all with their different ideas and all these different like people and who they are and what they bring to the table, and then you like come out with a thing that says like one specific thing or like has one specific perspective. Like that's incredible. That's amazing.
Mm.
Like holy shit. Sorry.
Amen. As someone who makes things right now, it's like, how does it get done? I don't know. Magic. A lot of magic.
Magic.
A lot of
Communication,
willpower.
talking. Yeah.
Communication is touch and go, but magic.
The magic. It is.
Magic is the production team. The producers just like holding it together with tears and blood. Um,
Ooh.
yeah,
Do you shed blood at work,
you know,
Melissa?
uh,
Have an
no,
intervention.
not yet.
Okay.
I hope it never.
I hope not. Hope you're
You
doing
never know.
okay.
um, yeah, I think reflecting on what you said about like the need for community because the QT server, I want to ask you more about that in a second,
Yeah.
especially about the Zine. I want to plug the Zine.
Yeah.
I have gotten both my jobs through the server somehow, which is kind of crazy.
It's
But
pretty
like
good.
through the like sense of community mainly, just like people being kind more than anything, just like being generous and like going over resumes and like giving feedback and being like, I think I've, especially during the pandemic when I was in college, that server was very meaningful to me because I didn't feel like I had a community in my major because everyone was a documentary film bro. And I was like,
Mm,
not me.
yeah.
So I clung to online spaces as you do. And so when I joined that server, it was so random. Like you said, it's kind of hard to find. Just found it on Instagram, and they just DM'd me and were like, "You queer?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then they let me in.
I'm really glad your experience is consistent with mine because same shit. Alex Quintas emailed me and was like, "Are you an adult and also gay?" And I was like, yeah." And they're like,
Yes.
"Okay, you're in." I was like,
Please believe
Thanks.
me. And then let me in.
Where's your gay card?"
I
Um,
promise you, gay. Yeah, they let me in. And ever since then, like I always like have a sense of guilt when I get too busy and I like I'm in too many Discord servers is part of my problem, but I'm an addict, I guess. That I don't participate enough because I'm in too many, and I'm like, these are all such good spaces, and I'm not contributing. But like, I could always know that they're there, and they're consistent spaces. Like, they're always gonna welcome you back. Like, I don't know. There's something comforting about that, and I've been working hard to like leave the online space now that I'm in LA and be more in person. That's why I went to cartoon kickball, because I was like, I feel like I need to work on my sense of community with the animation industry, because when I worked on video games, I was really lonely, like terminally. I was very sad all the time, partially because it was really hard and partially because it was lonely. But
If you don't mind me asking,
yeah,
was it a remote production, or is it just because of the way that things were? Oh, yeah.
it was remote and
Oof.
because of the way things were.
Oh, yeah, because I know games can sometimes be a little hostile sometimes to, certain groups.
Yeah,
Um,
and since I now have this new position and, like, it's animation, so it's, like, not video games, but and it's in person, so, like, it has the benefits of, like, now I see people in person, but it's like, I know you guys only hang out with me because 'cause I'm here every day, right? Like, would you hang out with me if I didn't come into the office every day? I don't know. So I'm, like, trying to work on, like, forming more friendships outside of the office, because 'cause I'm like, if we all got fired, would I still have these connections? I don't know. Anyway, that's why what you said really means something, of like forming a community in the animation industry is important, because like I love this so much that I want to keep talking about it with people who love it just as much as I do.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's yeah, and I mean that's sort of I first I wanted to say before I forget, I get you so hard with the idea of like I'm in online spaces until I can have enough in-person spaces and then I can leave the internet. Like that's like my ultimate goal is to like have enough in-person friends that I just like don't have to go online like ever for jobs or anything. And that may never happen, but I'm a very in-person kind of person. Like I personally don't know if I could ever work remote. Like I've tried a couple jobs before in the past and it's been a little hard. The QT Zine thing is remote, but and I feel like that does a pretty good job of, not being too demanding. It's still like nice of like, oh, you can still hang out with people, but they know it's like on the side for a lot of people, so it's not too crazy and that kind of helps. But yeah, I'm definitely a very in-person kind of person and I feel like similarly I rely on online spaces when I don't have anything, but then like once I get the in-person established, like the online to me feels less of a priority. Like just cuz like for me that in-person connection is so much more rich. It just feels so much more impactful. So yeah, I don't know. It's been a thing I've been learning about myself recently as well. Like trying to maintain connections with friends over long distances has been hard sometimes, and like trying to find out where the space of that exists for me. So I don't know. It's like I feel that very much of like being lonely. I'll be honest, like I've struggled with loneliness a lot. It's sometimes I'm like I think I have a bit of an issue where sometimes if there's no one like around me, I kind of forget that other people exist, and I'm like, I'm a solitary being on this planet. Like I'm just like a little amoeba on this like rock of the beginning of life, and there's nothing else here, and I'm like just alone forever. And so, but like having friends helps with that. Like having friends to like have a little server where like I have a little Discord server with some friends called the Dungeon Crawlies because we like talk about sex and like porn and it's like and it's fun and like I hang out with them in person as well and it's great and it's fun and we talk about like regular person things other than porn but we sometimes do talk about porn anyway but like regardless like it's it makes me feel better and like I don't know I've been dating this person that I actually met at another animation meetup Sketchtoons for like 5 months so far. Her name's CJ. She's great and we've been I don't know it's been really good to like share space with her just as a person and just like have I forgot how important it is to have somebody that I can just like do errands with. Just like, oh, I need to like go to the grocery store. Like, do you want to come with? And they're like, hell yeah, if they're free or whatever. And like being able to exist in that space is like really important to me. And I'm like, oh, like that's something that I haven't had in a really long time. And there's one time when she was like bringing groceries home, and I was like crying, and she was like, what? She's like, what are you crying about? And I was just like, I forgot how important this was to me. Like I forgot that like because my parents are still a very important part of my life, and they were really important to me when I was growing up because they were kind of my main connection as a person. And so like I forgot that like having them constantly around was like an important part of my experience. Like it was an important part of like sort of my social anchor as a person. And like I hadn't had that in a couple of years because I moved out, I moved back, I moved out again, but like it's been a bit. It's been like a year and a half, 2 years since I've like fully lived with them, and it's a transition, honestly. And I forgot about that. I forgot that like, oh, like I really like this sort of like domestic connection. And so I don't know. She's wonderful, and it's been good so far. But like, yeah, it's I don't know. It's finding people. It's finding in person connection, and just like finding people who care about us and who we can care about. And like, I don't know. I think that's beautiful. I honestly think a lot of the world is kind of isolating, to be honest. Like, I think there's a lot of parts of the world where I feel like us as people need other people, but I feel like in order to like operate and live in like society, you oftentimes don't. You can be isolated if you want. And so it kind of makes it sometimes hard to like have those chance meetings and connections that our brains are sort of like meant to operate with. So I don't know, it takes more effort, I'll be honest. It's not as easy and effortless as I feel like it should be. But I don't know. Once you start getting the ball rolling, it gets easier to be like, oh, I'm gonna reach out to the person about coffee, or like just like send a little Discord message saying hi, or like go into this thing, and like I don't know. It's sort of tying back to what we were before of like figuring out what's important to you at a core level and like trying to work towards that. So yeah, I forget if that answered what you were talking about or if that was related.
I don't even know if I got to a question.
Yeah. But to sum it all up, the point is shopping for toothpaste.
Yeah. So like, but like,
Yeah.
but okay, but here's the thing. So here's the thing though. But like, so there is a Costco that's like 15 minutes away from me, but that's not like the Burbank Costco, because I know that the Burbank Costco is where a lot of the like animation studios are, where like a fair amount of like people hang out. It's kind of around where the Cartoon Kickball is, though Cartoon Kickball's more in like Sherman Oaks. But anyway, it's like, so I was like, I'm gonna set my pharmacy to there, and I'm gonna go to that Costco because I know that if I hang around that place, I'm gonna have more chance encounters of people in sort of similar spaces that I know, like that kind of shit, like that kind of shit of like.
That's the hot takes you'll get on this podcast, is if you just lurk enough at the Burbank Costco, you're gonna run into Rebecca Sugar, Dana Terrace,
You're gonna run.
Templeton, what's the Adventure Time?
Penn Ward, yeah, no.
Yeah, if you just lurk there long enough, you'll see Jorge Gutierrez buying toilet paper.
But you gotta like, well, okay, but like on the other hand, like I do have to preface, like be a person, like, and this is the balance.
No, Claire, they have to live in the Costco, just like hunker down in one of the sheds, and when they see someone, burst out and be like, oh my God, give me a job.
Give me a job. And they're gonna do it. And they're gonna be like, you found me. Like, congratulations. Here's a gold star and a job in the animation. Like
I
Rebecca
listened
Sugar
to this podcast, and Claire said he would be here to give me a job.
And Claire said that Penn Ward was gonna be here at the Burbank Costco, and he's gonna give me a star and gonna give me a job. And that's how it works. That's what happens.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. And then you get in the job, and then somebody has to find you, and then you give them your star, and then the cycle continues. And that's like how the big organism of animation keeps
that's
like
actually
reproducing.
how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't teach you this in school, kids.
This is the secret.
And the thing is, it's not just sending your pharmacy there. You also have to do like your eye doctor, your doctor.
Get your gas there, get your
ears there.
Yeah. It's like finding places. Well, because here's the thing of like, a friend in animation recommended this coffee shop to me. If they were like, oh, like I know this person sometimes frequents this, and you seem like a cool person, maybe you might meet them there. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I like didn't meet them for a while, but I like started going there enough that it started becoming my regular thing. And then I did meet them there, and I was like, ah, fuck. And I was like, ah, shit. So it was like, I don't know. It's sometimes one of those things. If it's like, I don't know. I do feel like there is a balance to strike. There's a balance to strike of like, I want to be completely 100% clear that like I'm here for community. I'm also here like to respect people. Like I want to like, respect people's boundaries, understand that they're people, understand that they're human beings. Like again, the same thing I was saying about the playground. Regardless of how much you want to hang out with someone, like consent is important. If you consent, but the other person doesn't consent, then you can't do that. Like that's just not how it works. And you just have to like understand and accept that. And like it's a balance. It's like you have to want something and strive towards it. But also, when you're dealing with people, you got to respect them. You got to respect them for who they are and like their space. And like if they're, some animation people are really social and are really nice and love to hang out with people and get stuff. And some people are more sort of solitary and they're more sort of hanging out. And like, I don't know, you gotta respect that. You gotta be able to be like, okay, that's fine. That's cool. That's you. That's who you are. That's how you like to live, and that's okay. So yeah, I just wanted to make that clear because a lot of times when I talk to my friends, they joke about me stalking people, and I'm like, no, I'm just trying to hang out with them. But if they told me no, I would leave. But anyway, it's just an insecurity that I have. I'm like trying to,
Yeah.
because it's. I wish I was just in the little box and all these other people were in this little box so I could run into them. But sometimes we're like 50 miles apart.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I gotta
LA is
get.
pretty big.
Yeah, LA's pretty big, so sometimes you gotta, like, find the spaces, but you also don't wanna be weird. Anyway, it's a balance, but, like,
It's a balance.
I feel like,
You
one.
gotta know when it's appropriate to approach too. Because
Yeah.
I was at a restaurant once, and I was meeting with my former professor. Hey, shout out Scott. You would
Ooh.
Shut
love you,
up,
Scott.
Scott.
Shout out
He'll never
Scott.
listen.
Get a get
Um,
a F in this. No, not F, sorry, L. Win? What W? What are the kids saying? Win?
W?
W in the chat. Sorry,
W for Scott.
not L. Not L for Scott.
Look at
W
his
for
L
F
for
in the
Scott.
chat.
F in the chat for Scott. No, please don't. Sorry, continue, Melissa. I didn't mean
I
to.
saw Benjamin. What's his name? The guy who's like in charge, like helped create Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, who's married to
Oh.
Jesse.
Shit.
I don't know how to say their last name. It's Ben and Jesse, and like they were having dinner at this restaurant, and they were like sitting right across from me. I was just sitting there like, oh my god, I've been following you on Twitter for like 5 years. And then they were sitting right across from me. But like they're only famous to me because I'm an animation nerd. But I'm like, I'm obviously not going to go interrupt them while they're having a romantic dinner.
Yeah.
And then I watched them leave. And I was like, I'm so brave. I didn't harass these people. To tell them I'm a fan. But like those moments, you just gotta pick and choose your battles.
That's really wonderful. Like I was at a Halloween party last year, and so like Dana Terrace was there. It was one of the guests at the party, and I was talking to my friend Jenna, and we were kind of like bitching about the other people because there was a fair amount of people who were kind of like crowding around her and asking her for like signatures and stuff. And we're like, this is a casual party. Like this is a casual party where we're hanging out and like we're just like talking and chatting. She was like, yeah, like just go up and compliment her costume and then leave. Like that's what you do. That's what the social contract is and what's like being a respectful person is. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna like diss people, but like some people I feel like have ideas of how certain people are in their brain or have understanding of like what this person is. And I'll be honest, I get it too. I get it nice. Like I saw Rebecca Sugar at a coffee shop and I had to like, I'm just like, I got a little silly. I was like, oh my God, like it's them. Oh my God, I really like Steven Universe. And like, but like you gotta balance that. You gotta be like, okay, I'm a fan of your stuff, a fan of your work. That's it. And then like leave. I feel like from my experience, like most quote celebrities or like known people in animation are pretty chill as long as you're chill. Like as long as you're just like, just like are you this person? Yes. I'm a fan of your work. That's great. And then leave. Like that's because it's like, you as a person wouldn't want to be harassed. And I don't know. I think that's like, I think that kind of relates to, again, similar thing what we were talking about this idea of like, sort of getting down to the core of stuff. And to be honest, I think a lot of people don't want to make other people feel uncomfortable. I think a lot of other people don't want to invade other people's space or don't want to make it seem like they're, being a nuisance or being a bother. But I feel like some people have this like conflict of like, oh, they want community, but they don't know sort of how to perceive it. And I don't know, it's definitely a balance. It's still people, but I think it's important to recognize that like people are still people. Like I'll try to end cap all this because I've been yapping for a really long time. But like when I first started getting involved in the QT animation server, Andy Garner Flexner, I was like on a little like meeting with him and a couple other production people. And originally I was like nervous as fuck. I was like, oh my God, this is like Andy Garner motherfucking Flexner, like director on Owl House. Holy shit. Oh my God. And I was like freaking out. I didn't say anything, but I was like internally, like I have butterflies in my stomach. So I was like, oh my God, holy shit.
He's got the most impressive like resume ever.
Oh no, literally like fucking like Adventure Time, like a lot of really cool shit. You should go check out their shit. Also, their art's really cool. Anyway, but like anyway, like I got really nervous because I was like, holy shit, like I know of this person's work and I know of this stuff, and so like I got nervous, and then like over time I started to realize that Andy is a person, like like I had sort of constructed this idea of who Andy was in my brain. And like that does exist, and part of me recognizes that part of that still exists. But like also like Andy's like a human being, like a person, an individual, and who exists and has a life and is a person. And like there was a really, really good piece of advice that he gave me. It was like, I remember being like, "Oh my god, like, animation people are so cool, and they're so great, and they're so awesome." And he was like, "Yeah, that's really cool. I'm really, really glad that you have that. Don't let that get you fucked over though." Like, just, like, personally, because I mean, before we were talking about, like, being respectful of other people, but there's also, like, a lot of, you know, spaces, not as much like individual personal spaces, but more sort of like corporate spaces where and like business spaces where sometimes people will work for contract terms that aren't the best for them, or won't recognize their wealth as an artist because they're quote working in animation or working with someone who's really cool. And I don't know, I think that's bullshit. Like, I think that people deserve to be respected and deserve to have like a wage that's livable, and deserve to be around people who care and about respect them. And I think that, like, I don't know, I think part of that comes with just like self-respect and understanding that, like, this person might be really cool and might have doing cool stuff, but also like you're really cool and like do make a lot of cool stuff as well. And like this is like hypothetical you, but like you're a cool person. I don't know. Like understand that these people are human beings, and also you are a human being, and like neither of you has like any more like inherent like fundamental value. If we're coming back around like philosophy, like I don't think there's any like inherent more fundamental value in like their life than your life. Like, you're still human beings. You're still people who, deserve love, who deserve kindness. And just like recognizing that, I feel like makes it easier to like see people as people and less as like figures in your brain. Cause I definitely know with the internet and stuff that can be really like that can happen a lot, like parasocial relationships and stuff. So just like be aware of that, be understandable, be a person, and like, I don't know, love yourself. You're cool. Like, you make cool stuff. Like, recognize that you're cool too, even if you think these other people are cool as well. So, I don't know.
Definitely. Well, as we reach our hour, I want to take this last few minutes to ask, do you have anything you want to plug? Like the zine?
Oh, yeah, I would love to plug the
Any
zine.
final words of advice?
Yeah, yeah. Let me make sure. I'm trying to see how to find it, because that's actually like one of the hardest. Like, I can let me just give me like 2 seconds, because
It's
there's a
okay. We'll leave this in so that
yeah, no, I really
everyone
appreciate it.
can listen.
Yeah, no, okay. So if you go to okay, yeah, here's a good link. So if you go to Q as in Quebec, and then T as in Toronto, in animation dot card with two R's dot co. That's like, it's a little like combo link that somebody made. I don't know. I could also put it in the chat or whatever.
I'll put it in the description of the episode.
Yeah. It's just a little space where the zines from previous years and like links to the queer tag like socials are found, and other resources and stuff. And yeah, it's really cool. I don't know, it's a really cool yearly project that sort of Andy started, and now Ed Gaskew's sort of heading in, and I'm an assistant director this year. So heading out with this kind of stuff. So it's I don't know, it's basically just a bunch of people getting together, making art pieces centered around a theme. It's really cool. Yeah, I guess if you want to find me, Claire dash the Rose on like most platforms, or Claire underscore the Rose. Usually underscore if you can do an underscore in the username, and the dash if you can't. Like Blue Sky, for example, doesn't allow underscores in their username. Anyway, Claire underscore the Rose. That's me pretty much everywhere. Claire Rosenthal. Also just look me up. But yeah, again, I'm also not super online. So like, I guess find me at the Burbank Costco. That's probably
Yeah,
the best.
just go find Claire at the Burbank Costco.
At the Burbank, get a dog, sit in the food court, hang out with me. I might be grabbing toothpaste, but like, say hi. I don't know.
Wait, does this Costco have an outside food court where you don't have to have a membership to get into the food court?
Okay, yeah, because I know the Costcos are changing. Like,
Yes.
because they were outside, and you either didn't have a membership, and now they're like changing the inside. I know a couple Costco, I think, from what I remember, from last of what I remember, this one's still outside, but you might have to still scan your membership card to get inside.
To
Or like
get the hot dog?
get the hot dog. Sorry, yeah, because to get inside, but also to get the hot dogs. I think because you got to like
That's so
scan.
fake.
I mean, I'm a Costco. Like, I like Costco. I recommend it. I plug it. I'm not like sponsored, but like I like it. I get so much
I
toilet
just don't
paper.
think you need a Costco membership to get a hot dog.
You
Like,
think?
I feel like you should be able to just buy a hot dog.
I mean,
Right?
I agree,
But
but
they
Why
also
put
is it
them
locked behind a
inside.
paywall?
Right? And they don't even have the supreme pizza anymore, and it's just like,
Oh my
you don't
god.
understand.
But also,
That
like
supreme pizza in the outside, like, food court raised me. You don't understand.
it's like when they don't have the $5 rotisserie chicken, like, because 'cause they're doing renovations. You're like, "Why do we even come?" Like, what's the fucking point? Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
I
I
grew
mean
up with indoor food courts in Costco, but I grew up in
mm,
Florida, so if they were outside, nobody would.
do die. Yeah. Yeah. No, I get
You
that.
would
I
die.
mean well, I
Yeah.
think there's also an argument to be made of, like, oh, like, should they raise the price of the hot dog? Like, if it's outside, because you have to bet that's a loss for them. Like, it's gotta
So, it's a hot dog. They're gonna be fine.
I mean, that's fair. I've been thinking a lot with my business brain recently because 'cause I'm like, I have a little
Don't
project.
side with the corporation, side with the
Yeah.
people.
Yeah! Hot dogs for everyone, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Melissa, I think you're right. You've changed my mind.
It's the least they can do,
It's
you
the least
know?
you can do. Just give a dog. Just a dog for everyone. Heal the world.
Like, we have so little in this life.
Yeah.
This life is so short.
$1.50 hot dog with soda, like,
Yeah.
Like, last week, JD Vance killed the Pope. What else can we have?
What? What?
Who
Francis
is
is
the
gone.
Papa Francisco died of cringe, and the least we can have is a $1.50 hot dog with a drink.
It's all that's left for me.
Melissa, you said you weren't gonna do this where you would, like, specifically date our episodes.
I think it's funnier if we do the episodes by
I mean
months.
unless there's another pope that dies in the future and there's another
Oh my god.
conspiracy about JD Vance and then it's ambiguous and then we're like like maybe we'll see. Maybe like 2050, maybe like everybody will be like, "Whoa, look at this timeless podcast that predicted the future." And we're like, "Actually,
This episode isn't coming out until August 4th, so, like, who knows what'll
Jesus.
happen in
Really?
August.
Oh my god. Wow, editing takes a while. Damn."
So, hey, people in August, remember when JD Vance killed the Pope?
We're in August. I guess wait, so my birthday's on August 8th, so this will be out 4 days before my birthday.
Oh my
So,
god, happy
uh,
birthday.
thank you. Oh
Happy
my god.
birthday.
Oh my god. Whoa. That's insane.
I know.
Um,
Scheduling's crazy.
yeah, I mean, production, so, like, I get you, but, like, damn. Wow. Yeah.
I
I
think
can't
it's so much
believe
funnier this way.
I can't believe that JD Vance killed the Pope. I'm still, like I'm reeling.
Reeling.
I think about
Yeah.
it at least twice a day.
At least 2 or 3 times a day with my $1.50 Costco hot dog.
I should start just scheduling meetups with people, but at the Costco. Be like,
That
hey, I would love to
see
get lunch, but at the Costco.
everybody talks about the coffee shops in Pasadena. Everybody talks about the little shops in Burbank. Nobody talks about the fucking, like, concrete Costco food court hangout
It's a
with
cheap meal.
my chicken bake and my smoothie.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you never want to inconvenience anyone. You
Yeah.
don't know everyone's financial situation.
Yeah.
But Costco,
But
you know everyone can afford
you know what?
Costco one.
Like a $10 coffee? No, $1.50 hot dog. Now that's what I'm talking about. This late today's capitalistic hellscape. That's what
Right.
I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Change the game.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for talking with
Yeah.
us, Claire.
Yeah, y'all are wonderful. This is I might honestly, you know what? Let me set a reminder on my calendar to actually reach out to you, Melissa, about hanging out again because like you're very cool. So
You're very cool. Thank you so much for being on our podcast.
yeah.
What an
Yes,
honor.
thank you.
And Marv, if you're ever in LA, like I would love to say hi. You're very cool.
And if you're
I
ever
try
in
to direct them.
Albuquerque,
I'll see.
if you're
I
here for
mean-
the balloon fiesta, like
Wait, when's the balloon fiesta?
October.
You don't have it on.
October. Damn, I'll have to see my Lightbox
Yeah.
schedule, but maybe. I mean, I don't know. That'd be fun. Little road trip.
yeah.
Little Albuquerque road trip for the balloon fest.
Yeah. I try to bring Marv to LA consistently because
Mm,
when they're not in my physical presence, My life is darker.
Yeah. Marv, you seem
It's
very
been a
nice.
dark 3 years.
Ooh,
Yeah, so
that's
long.
rough.
It's been a while.
Yeah, well, hope y'all can see each other soon.
Thank you.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you have a lovely evening, Claire. And
Thank you.
text me your thoughts on Trolls 3.
Yes, I didn't even talk about Trolls 3. It's like it's a good movie. Like everybody jokes about Trolls, but it's like the mashups and like this is what I mean. I'm like, this is what I'm here for. Like listen, I would love to work for Netflix. That'd be great, but like I just need someone to listen to me yap about Trolls 3 for the next 4 hours and not think that I'm insane. Like that's what I
That's
need.
me. I want to talk about
Yeah.
cartoons all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope you have a
Yeah.
good night too. It's
Hit
pretty
me up. Yes.
Yeah, we'll do. And hope you have a good night too, Marv. I know it's a bit later there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
Good night. Thank you.
of course.
That was our conversation with Claire.
Wow. Like, I need another, 2-hour TED Talk. It's about community, it's about animation, it's about Trolls 3.
We didn't even get to the Trolls 3 stuff.
We didn't even get to the Trolls 3 stuff, but I'm curious.
We'll never know her takes.
Yeah.
She's great. I'm like genuinely amazed at like how she's been able to form such a wonderful community and how
Mm.
conscious she is of not taking advantage of anyone's generosity and time and reminding everyone to do the same and parasocial relationships and how dangerous they can be. So smart and like, I don't know, so well spoken. But cool, genuine, fun person.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got to talk to her.
Yeah, too. I'm glad you guys met at kickball.
Oh yeah, I don't even think we got to really dig into that either. But there's like a little community of people who work in animation, and some people who don't. But like it's called kickball, and they play kickball I think once a month. It's kind of they just play kickball, but it's fun. I went once. It's kind of freaking far because it's in Sherman Oaks, and it's so freaking far. And I don't have a car, but it's a great time if you can make it all the way to Sherman Oaks. Yeah, but she's lovely. So thank you, Claire, for being a guest.
Thanks for doing this with me, Melissa.
Of course, thank you. I hope you have a less weird day tomorrow.
Girl, me too.
Well, on that note, thanks so much for listening.
Thank you so much for listening to
Hug
Not
your
One Right
bros.
Way, the podcast.
Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, tell your coworkers to listen, tell your professors. Make sure you get that extra credit if you're in Sing's class.
True. That was months ago.
That was practically a year ago at this point, but hey, it still have this on as syllabi, so
yeah, true.
Get that extra credit. The cover art for our podcast is done by Les. The editing is done by Marv. And remember,
there's
not
one
right
way
to move to LA and pursue your goals of being an animation cryptid.
There's not one right way to decide, oh, animation is art in motion.
There's not one right way to pick Sensodyne as your toothpaste of choice.
There's not one right way to join a queer Discord by being asked, are you gay?
So true.
Are you over 18 and gay?
Are you sure? Do you have your over 18 and gay card? Please provide. Thanks so much for listening.
Bye.